disrupted.
America, divine book.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. It's been a fantastic day so far. So there's an interesting endorsement happening that's caused such an uproar, depending on how you look at this. But it may be a positive for the Conservative Party leader, Pierre Poilievre, depending how you look at this. If you're sick and tired of the kind of consolidation of corporate governance oppression against ordinary citizens doing their due diligence, then you may see this as a positive. But this came about after this tweet broke out from none other than Alex Jones, the crazed conspiracy theorist who's actually just kind of a questionable, curious person, the more you get to understand him. And Alex Jones tweeted this out saying, been following this guy for years, and he is the real deal. Canada desperately needs a lot more leaders like him, and so does the rest of the world. So it sounds like it's almost not a complete endorsement, but kind of a nudge. Just like how the CIA nudged the idea that we need to wipe Alex Jones off the face of existence in the media sphere. Alex Jones kind of nudging the idea that Pierre Poilievre may be a better suited candidate against the tyranny of Justin Trudeau. And this is retweeting this lady's tweet here that says, this is why Pierre Poilievre should be our next prime minister. So this caused a major uproar. Just this tweet just caused a major uproar here in Canada. And it has caused such fathom that they tried to do attack ads, the Liberal Party, Justin Trudeau's reign, tried to do attack ads by associating that Pierre Poilievre is taking orders or taking, direct quotations from Alex Jones and the right-wing conspiracy playbook. Because apparently, in a healthy democracy, if you will, you have to pick and choose favorable suitors that are going to endorse you. And when I see stuff like this, it reminds me of when 2020 happened and Tulsi Gabbard had an endorsement or a tweet went out from a former Ku Klux Klan wizard, David Duke, who was supposedly endorsed Tulsi Gabbard's foreign policy. And everybody went after Tulsi Gabbard by saying that, hey, you can't allow to have a campaign. You can't run in this election because a former Grand Wizard is endorsing your foreign policy. So it just seems like we're just repeating history once again. And as I think it was Mark Twain that once said that you may not repeat history, but it often rhymes. And this is happening once again because Pierre Poilievre, what he's saying is exactly what Alex Jones has warned us about with his insight in investigating. And now they're trying to conflate the two by saying Alex Jones, Pierre Poilievre is taking orders from Alex Jones as being a right-wing lunatic, which is what the establishment has done to everybody at this point. But look at this.
No matter what the nation states try, the globalists will dominate.
A group of globalist billionaires.
The World Economic Forum is a globalist organization of the UN to penetrate governments.
We will ban all of my ministers and top government officials from any involvement in the World Economic Forum.
And out of that, they will call for central bank digital currencies to be rolled out.
The central bank is now promoting a possible proposal to bring in a digital currency.
You get the internet ID, that's then tied to your digital global ID that tracks everywhere you go, what you do, what you buy.
To answer your question, I will never allow the government to impose a digital ID.
No matter what the nation state.
And how exactly did any of this, how was any of this wrong? We just saw in the past few years the rollout of ArriveCan app, which is a government surveillance tracking system when it came to COVID. We are seeing the implementation of the Bank of Canada issuing digital IDs and doing central bank currencies. We have seen everything in Canada being rolled out. What Alex Jones pretty much warned us about. And Pierre Poilievre is now addressing Canadians because it's actually happening. This is not conspiracy theorists. This is explanation. This is explaining the ordinance of your tyrannical government. That we are really ruled by a bunch of corrupted billionaires that take the world for granted and use us like a game of chess. We're basically a pawn to them. And they're trying to use this as an attack ad, which is absolutely hilarious because the more you hear what Alex Jones is saying compared to what Pierre Poilievre is saying, it's just reinforcing how corrupted the government really is. I don't understand how this is supposed to be dismissive of Pierre Poilievre. But apparently they tried to do that, and they also tried to bring it to the House of Commons. Because, of course, we got to act the most childish and sound like schoolyard children in the most prosperous the prosperous room of the nation, you know, acting like, you know, less mature than grade school children. And when Pierre Poilievre was trying to address about the carbon tax, trying to address about the funding of Ukraine, trying to address how Canadians are unable to afford basic living standards, this is where our government, Justin Trudeau, and the rest of the NDP Liberal coalition, alongside with big corporations, big pharma, again, we live in a basically pseudo-fascist state. Even though we don't call it a fascist state, it really is a fascist tyrannical state. Here's where they try to pedal back by saying that Pierre Poilievre is somehow in the deep of right-wing conspiracies.
The Parliamentary Budget Officer's report, which confirms 60% of Canadians pay more than they get back. The Prime Minister said, and I quote in 2015, Canadians need a PM who will meet with the premiers. What happened?
The right honourable.
So, was that a conspiracy theory that the Prime Minister did not meet with the premiers when it came to rolling out the carbon tax? When it came out to cost of living standards, that we have seen an increase throughout province to province? Is that a conspiracy theory? Because I didn't see the Prime Minister addressing provincial governments on how to tackle down the rise of cost of living, and also defending this ridiculous carbon tax that's actually basically oppressing ordinary Canadians that are just trying to make their basic standards, basic cost of living standards. But listen to this.
Prime Minister.
While the Conservative leader continues with his misinformation and disinformation, the reality is the Parliamentary Budget Officer said that 8 out of 10 Canadians do better with our price on pollution and the Canada carbon rebate. But speaking of misinformation and disinformation, any responsible leader that receives an endorsement and support from proven conspiracy theorist and liar Alex Jones would have immediately denounced that. But that's not what the leader of the opposition did. He did absolutely nothing because those kinds of endorsements fit within his political strategy.
That's their top priority. Shifting from explaining why they're doing the carbon tax and shifting away from that, saying that it's disinformation or misinformation to bring up excellent points of critique, and just trying to jump ship to, hey, you're getting an endorsement by what we believe is a pathological liar from the United States. And you did nothing. which is exactly what you only can do. Because it's not your job. If you are a politician in Canada, it is not your job, not your fiscal responsibility to pick and choose who endorses you. This is the exact same scenario, the exact same whirlwind that Tulsi Gabbard got encapsulated into when David Duke endorsed her foreign policy. It wasn't Tulsi Gabbard reaching out to him saying, endorse me. It just happened. And there's nothing that she could have done about that. Just like here, there's nothing that Pierre Poilievre can do. So he got endorsed by Alex Jones. I consider that a plus. But that's just me. Much like any other ordinary Canadian that's sick and tired of the establishment screwing us every 9-way to Sunday. It seems like it would be a positive thing that even Alex Jones can endorse, at least take a glance at a viable option in Canadian government. Is Pierre Poilievre great? I wouldn't say so. I think there's a lot of flaws with him. But considering what we have now, at least there's an alternative. At least there's some sort of hope. But they're just going to try and run with this because the Liberal government, the NDP, the Bloc Québécois, the Green, they have nothing. They have nothing at this point. No policy, no measures to actually help ensure the safety and security and the prosperity of this nation. So all they're going to do is run with the fact that, hey, you got endorsed by a crazy person. Which if that's all the case, then endorsing the Liberal Party. Let's look up their endorsements. Let's look up the endorsements of the NDP. Who's funding and backing the Bloc Québécois? Should we just go down the list and make sure we have acceptable people endorsing acceptable political parties? Is that what democracy is turned into? Which, by the way, them defending democracy is like drinking Diet Coke for weight loss. It's absolutely pathetic because they don't care about democracy. And Alex Jones even chimes in on that clip there saying, is this the same Trudeau that gave a standing ovation to an actual Nazi war criminal from World War II? Yes, twice. Not just once, twice. And is also saying that we are defending the freedom and democracy in Ukraine by liquidating our nation, saying to the corrupted nation in East Europe, and then silencing out our free speech measures here in Canada, saying that he's defending democracy. This is the same exact person. And that is why it is no surprise that Justin Trudeau would jump ship on an opportunity like the fact that Alex Jones is somewhat endorsing Pierre Poilievre. He didn't even make a full endorsement. Alex Jones is just saying, I saw this guy, and he seems like a nice person. He seems like an alternative. So are we just not allowed to observe things anymore? Are we not allowed to state the obvious? That maybe Pierre Poilievre is providing a little bit of a difference than the rest of the sludge of Canadian politics? Maybe some sort of alternative. But it goes even further. It goes even further because now, according to Rachel Gilmore here, she states that the Liberals are now fundraising off Pierre Poilievre's Alex Jones endorsement. Because that's all they have. That's all they have now. They have screwed Canadians so many times that they have nothing. They have nothing to run on. Just like how in the United States, the Democrats have screwed over the nation so much that the only thing that they can run on is the possibility of bringing back Roe v. Wade, which is a very, 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 very slim chance that's ever going to happen because the Democratic Party let it get overturned. So now they're trying to clap back and say, oh, look, abortions. Because they have nothing left. They have nothing left. They're a pro-war party, just like the Liberal Party. Our Canadian government, the freedom fighters, the people that were supposed to be détente, like we were supposed to be the anti-war country, has now entrenched themselves so deeply into war that we're no different than any American politician. And here's what the pamphlet that came out, again, trying to fundraise off of apparently Alex Jones endorsing Pierre Poilievre. This is how stupid this is. They state, this is from the Liberal Party, there's a lot at stake, friend. Which any politician, if they ever use the word friend or buddy, just run. Run the hell away from them. It just reminds me of all the years that during the pandemic, we had Doug Ford, our premier of Ontario, go up on stage and do press announcements saying, my friends, I care so much about this pandemic that all the small businesses have to shut down. But Amazon, Walmart, you're allowed to stay open because I care, my friends. My friends, we're going to create a homelessness epidemic and we're not going to do anything about it. My friends, I'm not actually going to do anything about the housing crisis. My friends. But we are going to change the license plates and cost taxpayers billions of dollars for a wasted investment. Because now those license plates that were supposed to rebrand Ontario are now being called back. What a waste of goddamn money that was. Last week, Pierre Poilievre got an endorsement from far-right American conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. And what did Pierre Poilievre do about it? Absolutely nothing. Again, what are you going to do? What else can you do? It's a random person. Are you going to go through the amount of people in the world and surveil them to make sure they're endorsing the right people? This is, again, how stupid this is. How ridiculous this is. When you're a democratic nation or supposed democratic nation and you're bitching about a random person, a rando on the internet, even if it is Alex Jones, a rando on the internet as barely endorsing a politician. How many TikTok stars have I seen endorsing Joe Biden already? Am I calling them out? Am I saying that they're ridiculous? No, because they're just a bunch of randos. Why would I care? And of course, they linked to that video that we just saw of trying to, again, copulate Alex Jones to Pierre Poilievre and saying that this is a right-wing conspiracy, mega, fringe movement that's happening in Canada. And they're trying to link that to the trucker movement. They're trying to link that to the convoy and Tamara Lynch and just throw everybody into this melting pot of you're either on our side or the terrorist side. Which is absolutely just wonderful for the nation. It's going to unite the country to keep reminding people that half the country are a bunch of nefarious thugs. Like, oh my God, it's absolutely crazy. And again, none of what Alex Jones says or Pierre Poilievre is far-fetched. None of what they said is far-fetched. They're not conspiracy theorists. They're actually analysts. They're analyzing the conspiracy claims. They're analyzing the lies that came out of COVID, that came out of Ukraine, that came out of Syria, that come out of Israel and Palestine right now. We're analysts. We're analyzing stories and bringing you the truth from these claims. People like Justin Trudeau and the mainstream media, they are the ones pushing conspiracy theorists. Because in actuality, there is a group of big conglomerates, global tycoons that are gathering together on the regular to dismantle and destroy the concept of other nations. And here, for example, is Klaus Schwab of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, stating how Justin Trudeau became Prime Minister of Canada in the first place.
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, president of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
And that's true in Argentina too. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and
as the leader of the World Economic Forum, the head of all evil, global empire evil, stating that our Canadian government was penetrated by agents that they purposely trained by the World Economic Forum to go inside our government to screw over this nation. So, again, where did Alex Jones went wrong? Where exactly did Alex Jones, in the little montage clip that you had there between him and Pierre Poilievre, where did that go wrong? Where exactly is the misinformation or the disinformation or the call information, whatever trope words that they're trying to throw out now? Where did they go wrong? Because you just had the head of one of the biggest global conglomeracies admitting that Justin Trudeau is a creation of theirs. That his cabinet is full of their agents to do their dirty work, not the country that they're supposed to represent, which is kind of the point of politics and politicians and governance, is they're supposed to represent people. They're representing this. And the fact that Pierre Poilievre is just a smidge outside that box, and Alex Jones is picking up on that and saying that there may be an alternative in Canada, is actually a better endorsement than anything you'll get in this country. And they're so petrified by that, of course, Justin Trudeau has to make a scene in the House of Commons and fundraise off the idea that even Alex Jones sees some sort of light in Canada when it comes to at least Pierre Poilievre. Like I said, he may not be perfect. There's a lot of things I disagree with. There's a lot of things that I can pull apart and point out the flaws that he has. But at least it's a bit of an alternative from the crazed nightmare, this creation of globalist tyranny and globalist fascism, the dictatorship that we're currently in right now, and blatantly lying to people saying it's a democracy, saying this is beneficial for you, that having no free speech, arresting people for exercising their right to protest, sending all their money, their taxpayer dollars, to initialize war in other nations, and telling half the country that they're a bunch of deplorables, that they're a bunch of terrorists, that they're a bunch of people with unaccepting views. That maybe Alex Jones might be onto something. And they are petrified of that endorsement. And if I was Pierre Poilievre in that moment, I'd be just running around, running with it. I'd be doing exactly what the Liberal parties are stating. Absolutely nothing. Because there's nothing you can do except just go along with it. Just like what Tulsi Gabbard did with David Duke in that endorsement, there's nothing you can do. In fact, if you did something about it, it'll make it worse for you. It'll make it worse for the campaign. It makes it worse for democracy as a whole. But Alex Jones is noticing a glimpse of hope here in Canada. That's pretty amazing.